We continue with the program. It's time for the first of our Tobago segments. And guess what? This Tobago segment is taking place in our Trinidad studio. And this morning we're talking about the Heritage Keepers. And they would have officially launched the first phase of this particular initiative. It actually took place rather on Tuesday, 12th June 2018. And here to tell us all about that initiative, the objective of it, and what has taken place, we have Joseph Bertrand, Educational Outreach Officer of the National Trust of Trinidad and Tobago. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning, and thank you very much for having me.
Very interesting initiative.
Yes. So we are the National Trust. We are an arm of the government and a membership-based organization that looks at safeguarding our built and natural heritage. So with that, we would generally get the interest of our more senior members of our society. And with the Heritage Keepers, we try to bring heritage to the younger generation so that they too can be part of the heritage conversation. So having the senior members as part of the membership base of the National Trust, a particular site speaks to them because they have been part of the experience or because they grew up next to it, etc. But the younger ones may just be passing these heritage sites and so on. And out of that, we decided that we need to have some sort of initiative that can speak to the youth. And so the Heritage Keepers was born. Yes.
So what sort of response you all got on Tuesday, 12th?
Oh, it was excellent. We launched the project in Tobago, next to the Main Ridge in Charlottesville, where the Main Ridge is currently going through the process of becoming a World Heritage Site. And the children there, they were interacting with an exhibition that we have called Details. And this particular one was done by our volunteers of the National Trust, and they took pictures of particular details of heritage sites. So we had a nice heritage hunt where we told them about particular details of a heritage site. So for instance, like a finial, which is the point on one of the older buildings. And we had them running around to try to find it, and so it was amazing, and they really enjoyed it. And the younger ones, they looked at fretwork, and they were able to draw it, and so on. It was amazing. So out of that, we want to go into the different schools and different youth organizations and really bring the conversation of heritage to the youth.
How were you all able to get the schools on board? Did you all advertise it, invite schools to be part of it? How did it work?
Oh, so we approached the schools
right.
For the launch itself. So
yes.
We approached the schools and told them about the initiative, and they actually jumped right on it.
What are some of the historical sites that were included?
Okay, so within the Details exhibition, it went right around the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. So we have sites from Tobago and Trinidad included in the exhibition. So for instance, Tolmeyers Castle, the Archbishop's house, photos of Nelson Island, etc. They were all included in the exhibition.
And what age groups of students?
Oh, we're looking at from 8 to about 18 to be Heritage Keepers. So having gone through the program, having gone through the project, they too can now speak to their peers about heritage. And when they see these details around, they can say, well, wow, this is a finial, this is wrought iron, and this is the story that is attached to the site. It's quite an exciting initiative.
So what are the plans moving forward?
So moving forward, we approach other schools about the project itself. And also we have actually a program that goes to Nelson Island already. So we call that the Nelson Island School Tours. And that has already been in full swing. So with the Heritage Keepers, we already have a rapport with a lot of the schools. And we just tell them, well, we want to do this particular one, and definitely they come on board. So next we are taking one of the schools through to Capital Tour, the old and the new capitals. We start in St. Joseph and then take a nice bus ride through St. Joseph down into Port of Spain.
So how many schools you all were able to approach and have come on board?
In Tobago, 2 so far. And next we are going into St. Joseph. Yeah.
All right. So every year you think it's going to be bigger and better?
Oh, every month actually.
Every month?
Every month.
Yes.
Every month. So the Heritage Keepers program is going to keep moving from school to school, from youth arm to youth arm.
Yes, and they're very excited.
They seem to be, yes.
Right.
Yes.
So what about photos? Would there be an exhibition of photos or that sort of thing? What's on the agenda?
Oh yes, okay. So out of the program, skills that they can learn is how to take heritage photos.
Wow. Yeah.
So it is not just about taking a picture. So we have to look at the particular angle, what exactly you're looking at, and so on, pertaining to the building or to the natural site. So they would learn these types of skills and also be exposed to heritage careers as well from that young age.
What are some of the heritage careers?
Oh, so we have heritage preservation officers, we have heritage architects, and also restoration architects.
Yes.
So these particular niche careers, they may not be exposed to in the beginning. However, if being part of the Heritage Keepers project, you would be, and probably align yourself to it, and definitely we need these types of professionals within the framework of Trinidad and Tobago.
So you think in the past there has been a sort of a gap?
I think so,
Yeah.
and I think so, but through the work of the Trust and Citizens for Conservation and so on, there's really a ramp to look at heritage as important.
So the schools have to wait for you all to contact them?
Oh, no. They can contact us if they'd like, they'd like, yes.
How do they contact
So
you?
at the National Trust, we have our website, which is www.nationaltrust.tt. So our phone numbers, 225-4750. And our Facebook pages, National Trust. We also have quite an interesting YouTube channel that looks at different heritage sites and gives the history and also particular details about it. So it's quite interactive, yes.
So every month you all will be having activities?
Every month we will be having activities with particular schools, yes.
How has it been for you personally, your experience?
Oh, personally, it has been quite the journey,
Yeah.
quite the journey in learning about heritage sites and in learning about the stories that are attached to these particular sites. And then when you hear about it and then you interact with persons who have lived through or who have some sort of personal connection with the site, it really resonates with me as important that we need to save some of these sites.
Do you all have any sort of collaboration with tour guides?
Or the Tour Guide Association.
Yes.
We have collaborations with them and also CDA.
Yes.
And mostly we would approach our outreach programs through tours
Okay.
and take the members to the sites
Okay.
versus just having some sort of blurb out there. So we actually take you to the site and explain and so on. So it's quite a hands-on experience, and it will be the same with the Heritage Keepers.
What other initiatives are you all engaged in Tobago?
In Tobago, so I spoke a little bit about the hope, none of the hope, but because it is already in the process of the World Heritage Site in for the Main Ridge.
Right.
But for the Heritage Keepers, we are going to approach other schools in hope that they will be part of the Heritage Keepers project. And also we have tours that go to Tobago. So we have one called the Tobago Adventure Tour, which would take us all the way to Little Tobago as well. And have some snorkeling and actually go through the whole glass bottom boat experience, but to a different reef called the Japanese Garden. So that is coming up, and also to the Mariah Old Time Wedding in Tobago as well, yes.
So that initiative, the tours that you spoke about, do you have to be in Tobago to get there? Do you?
Oh, no.
Okay.
So we would advertise it to our membership and to the public. And from there, you just call us, tell us that you want to attend or so. And then from there, we would organize the tickets and so on. We organize the Tobago tour guides, Tobago food, etc. It's
Yes,
amazing,
so it's a lovely, wonderful package.
Yes, it is.
All right,
is.
what about the cost for that particular event?
Oh, well, it's actually fully subscribed right now. It was $950 for a full day of activity. So both are actually completely filled.
Well, what that full day of activity would normally be like?
Okay, so well, the plane ride across. And then we would start at Fort King George, which is also a museum. So you get to go through the museum, you have breakfast there, a little bit about the trust, and then from there, we would take the Claude Noel Highway all the way down to Speyside. And while we make that journey, the tour guides will be pointing out different sites and so on that we would be seeing. And then from Speyside across the Little Tobago, we have the glass bottom boat that would take us around, and a beautiful hike up to one of the viewpoints where we have bird watching, and then come back down and then across to have bread and so on. So it's quite the package.
Yeah, it sounds like a paradise.
Yes.
So how do people subscribe to find out, to just keep updated in terms of the events that you will have? Because I know it's fully booked.
Oh, yes. So as I said earlier, we're a membership-based organization.
Right.
So within the National Trust, it is key to have the members of the society as part of the membership of the trust. So it would be important to have 8 people say that this site is important, but it'll be a bigger impact if we have 100 persons, 10,000 persons saying that this site is important. So that is what members of the National Trust say, that heritage is important, and they want to save and conserve our natural and built heritage. So as a member, that is what you would say as joining the National Trust. And within that, one of the benefits, you have first preference on the tours and so on, because you are part of the mailing list, etc. So it's quite an easy flow.
What about becoming a member, the membership procedures? What sort of cost is attached?
Actually, it's $25 to become a member of the National Trust. For a year, that is ordinary membership. We have family membership, we have junior membership as well, and then we have life membership. Life membership is only $500.
Okay.
Yes.
I like that. What are your closing comments at this time?
At this time, I just want to wish everybody a wonderful day, and also to let them know that heritage is really, really important. Join the National Trust.
Join the National Trust. There you have it. We've been chatting with Mr. Joseph Bertrand, Education Outreach Officer, National Trust, and he reminded us the number to call for further information, 225-4750. Thank you so much. Very, very interesting conversation we had. Very educational, informative, and it's something that would make anybody want to join. All right, so we now take you to our local weather forecast.